Hello, everyone, and welcome back. I'm Nora.
And I'm George. Hello, everyone.
How are you today, George?
I'm okay, but a little tired.
Oh no, what happened?
I stayed up late last night. I was watching a movie.
That sounds fun, though.
It was. How about you, Nora? How's your day?
My day was really nice, actually. I talked to a stranger this morning at a coffee shop.
Really? What did you say?
Just small talk about the weather, the coffee. But it made my whole morning better.
That's sweet. I wish I could do that. Actually, something happened to me, kind of related.
Oh, tell me.
Last week, I was at a coffee shop too, abroad. I wanted to order in English. My heart started racing. I just pointed at the menu instead. I said nothing.
Ah, George, I know that feeling well.
It wasn't the words. I knew the words. I was just scared, really scared.
That fear has a name, George. Many learners feel it. Today, we're talking about the fear of speaking English.
Oh, good. So it's not just me.
Not at all, and we'll help you deal with it.
But first, if this podcast helps you, hit subscribe. It really helps more people find us. Small thing, big help.
And grab a like too, why not? So, George, let's talk about that racing heart. What was it like?
My hands got sweaty. My mind went blank. I knew simple words, but nothing came out.
That's actually very normal. Your brain did something specific.
What do you mean?
When you feel scared, your brain sees a danger, even if there's no real danger. It thinks speaking wrong equals danger, so it freezes you.
Like when you see a scary movie scene?
Sort of, yes. Same reaction, smaller reason.
So my brain thought ordering coffee was dangerous?
In a small way, yes. That's the fear response.
That's actually kind of funny now that you say it.
It is, but it feels very real in the moment.
It really does. My legs even felt shaky.
I understand. Many beginners feel exactly this way.
So how do people get past it, Nora?
There's one simple tool that helps a lot.
Excited. Tell me, I need this.
It's called silent practice. You speak alone before speaking to someone.
Speak alone? Like talk to myself?
Exactly. It sounds strange, but it works. Think about a phone call you're nervous about. Most people rehearse what they'll say first, alone, in their head.
Oh, I do that. Before calling my landlord, always.
See, you already use this tool sometimes. With English, do the same thing. Practice out loud alone.
So before ordering coffee, I could practice the sentence first?
Yes, say it in your room, say it in the shower.
In the shower? Really?
Really, no one is judging you there. Your mouth and brain need practice, like muscles.
Like exercising, but for talking.
Exactly like that. Think about learning to swim. You can't learn swimming just by reading about it. Your body needs to feel the movement first.
So English is the same. My mouth needs the movement.
Right. Silent practice builds that muscle memory safely. Then real conversations feel much less scary.
That actually makes a lot of sense. I always jump straight into the real conversation. No practice first.
That's very common, and it's why the fear feels so big.
So if I had practiced my coffee order first, I might have actually said it instead of just pointing.
Exactly, George. You just understood it perfectly.
Okay, I'm definitely trying this today.
Good. Start with something small. One sentence.
Like, can I have a coffee, please?
Perfect example. Practice that a few times out loud.
Got it. Small sentence, out loud, alone first.
You're already getting the idea. There's another reason speaking feels scary too.
What's that?
We often think we need to speak perfectly every time.
Yeah, I definitely think that. Perfect grammar, perfect words.
But that's not how real communication works. Native speakers make mistakes too, all the time.
Wait, really? Even native speakers?
Of course, they repeat words, they pause, they say
Huh, I never thought about that.
When you talk, people care about your message, not perfect grammar.
That's actually really comforting to hear.
One more word for you, George. Hesitate.
What does that mean?
It means you pause because you're unsure, like waiting too long.
Oh, I hesitate all the time before speaking.
Most learners do. It's completely normal. The goal isn't zero hesitation. The goal is trying anyway.
Trying anyway. I like that.
Even a messy sentence is better than silence.
A messy sentence beats silence. I'll remember that. So, is that the only trick, Nora?
I wouldn't say so. There's a bigger one coming. Something that changes how your brain sees mistakes completely.
Wait, really? Now I have to know.
Stay with me, it's coming right up. Okay, George, remember what I said about mistakes?
Yes, you said there's something bigger coming.
Here it is. It's called reframing.
Reframing. What does that word mean?
It means looking at something in a new way. Same situation, different meaning behind it.
Can you give me an example?
Sure. Think about falling while learning to ride a bike.
Okay, I remember falling a lot as a kid.
Did you think, I'm terrible, I should quit?
No, I just got back on, kept trying.
Exactly. You saw falling as part of learning, not proof that you can't ride a bike.
Oh, and mistakes in English are the same thing.
Yes, you got it right away.
So a mistake isn't failure, it's just part of the ride.
Beautifully said, George. That's exactly the idea.
But it's hard to feel that way in the moment.
I understand. Old habits of thinking take time to change. Here's a small trick. Say this to yourself. Good try.
Just good try? That's it?
That's it. Every time you speak, even with mistakes, your brain starts connecting speaking with kindness, not danger.
Instead of connecting it with fear.
Right. Remember, your brain learned fear before. It can unlearn it too.
So I'm basically retraining my own brain.
That's a great way to put it.
Okay, good try. I can actually do that.
Try saying it now, out loud.
Good try, George. Wow, that felt weird.
It will feel weird at first. That's completely normal. Keep doing it. Weird becomes comfortable with time.
Nora, can I tell you something embarrassing?
Of course, go ahead.
Yeah, embarrassing. Once I said, I am boring, instead of I am bored.
Oh, that's a classic mix-up.
The person looked at me so strange. I wanted to disappear.
What did you do after that?
I just laughed it off, said, oops, I mean bored.
See, you recovered. The conversation continued.
It did, actually. It wasn't the disaster I imagined.
That's the secret. Mistakes feel huge in our head. But to other people, they're small, barely noticed.
Like a tiny bump in the road, not a wall.
That's a wonderful way to say it. Now, there's one more piece to this puzzle.
Wait, there's more?
Something about who you practice with. It matters a lot.
Who I practice with? I never thought about that.
Not everyone is a safe practice partner. Some people, without meaning to, make you more nervous.
Oh,
Actually, that happened with my coworker.
Tell me more.
He corrects every single word, even small ones.
How did that make you feel?
Nervous. I stopped talking to him in English at all.
That makes complete sense. Correction without kindness creates fear.
So who should I practice with instead?
Someone patient. Someone who focuses on your message, not every error. Think of it like cooking with a friend. A kind friend says, "Good job, maybe add more salt next time." A harsh friend says, "This is wrong, start over completely."
I know which friend I'd rather cook with.
Exactly. Choose your practice partners the same way.
That's really useful. I'll think about who I talk to.
Good. And if you don't have that person yet,
Yeah, what then?
practicing alone, like we said before, is still powerful. You are always a safe partner for yourself.
I like that thought a lot. Okay, so silent practice, good try, and safe partners.
You're collecting the tools nicely, George.
Exciting. Is there anything left, or is that everything?
Thinking about it. There's one more thing, and honestly, it's the one that surprised me most when I learned it.
Now you have to tell me.
Almost there. Let's finish this thought first.
Fine, but I'm holding you to it.
Okay, George, here's that last piece. Ready?
Ready.
It's about starting small, smaller than you think.
What do you mean smaller?
Most people imagine a full, long conversation. That feels huge. But you can start with just one sentence a day.
Just one sentence? That seems too easy.
That's the point. Easy things actually get done. Think about starting a new exercise habit. If your goal is 1 hour, you probably won't start. If your goal is 5 minutes, you actually begin.
And once I begin, I usually keep going anyway.
Exactly. Small steps remove the fear of starting.
So my one sentence could be ordering that coffee?
Perfect example. One sentence, one small, brave moment.
I think I can actually do that now.
I believe you can too. And this is the most important part, George. What you try next right now matters more than anything.
No pressure then.
A little pressure in a good way. Let's practice. Imagine you're at that coffee shop again.
Okay, I'm imagining it. Sweaty hands and all.
Good, that's realistic. Now say your order.
Can I have a coffee, please?
Great start. Try adding one more small detail.
Can I have a coffee, please? Small size.
Wonderful. Clear and simple. Well done.
That actually felt okay. Not as scary.
Now imagine the worker asks, "For here or to go?"
Oh, to go, please.
Perfect answer. Quick and confident.
I didn't even freeze that time.
Because you practiced first. Remember silent practice?
Right. My mouth already knew the words.
That's exactly how real confidence gets built, George.
One small coffee order at a time.
That's it exactly.
Okay, let me try to remember everything we said.
Go ahead. I'm listening.
First, practice alone out loud before real conversations.
Yes, that's silent practice.
Second, mistakes aren't failure. They're just part of learning.
Right, like falling off a bike.
Third, choose kind, patient people to practice with.
Or be that kind person for yourself.
And last, start really small. One sentence is enough.
Impressed, George. That's a perfect summary.
I actually feel less scared just talking about this.
That's exactly what we hoped for today. Well, George, I think we covered a lot today.
We really did. My brain feels fuller already.
In a good way, though.
Definitely in a good way.
If this episode helped you feel less scared, Let us know. A like or a subscribe means so much to us.
Yeah, and share it with a friend who's scared too. Maybe they need to hear this today.
Before we go, we have a small question for you. Try answering in English in the comments below.
What's one small sentence you'll practice saying today?
We really want to know. Tell us below.
I'll be checking the comments myself. I'm curious.
Genuinely delighted. Remember, a messy sentence beats silence.
Good try. Always a good try.
That's all for today, everyone. Take care of yourselves.
And don't forget, practice one small sentence today.
See you next time.
Bye, everyone.